What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. DeFi has been super crazy lately. There's really been a lot of bad news, to be frank, but this is one of those projects that's actually been doing really well. I'm late to covering it. I reviewed it a couple weeks ago before it even dropped, and then I was out of town and I wasn't able to make any videos on it. But this is Pulse Drip. I know a lot of you guys probably got in it because it's kind of an offshoot of Drip. This was created by my buddy Matt and the guys over at BurnSwap, and so far it looks like a really cool protocol. I want to say the pre-sale was like around $2. It shot all the way up to 50 and now it's settled down to about 15 bucks a token, which is awesome, but it works a lot like Drip does with some differences. So all the contract work is different. It's not a fork, but it does have a lot of similarities. Of course, those guys were early on in Drip. They really love Drip. They love the Drip community. They've been heavily involved in it this whole time. Drip's kind of been struggling lately, as you can see. I know these guys have been wanting to do a project over on Pulse Chain. So here it is. This is what they rolled out. Now this is the site, as you can see, it's pulsedrip.io. We're just on the dashboard here. It's showing the P-Drip price, the Pulse Drip price, how many faucets are currently lit up, which is 604 out of 5,000. They're initially gonna stop at 5,000. I think it may stop there altogether. They also have a version of the garden, which is interesting. I haven't gone into the garden yet. I've just got my faucets set up. And then total supply is only 5 million tokens. Now, it's my understanding that in the contract, there is no function like in Drip. There's a function that if it goes beyond a certain point that it mints the tokens to keep paying people out. In this scenario, it sounds like there is no minting function, so it's gonna stay at those 5 million tokens. Right now, you've only got 7,600 in circulating supply. What that means is most of those tokens are locked up. Now let's talk about some of the differences real quick. Let's go over here. Why don't we start with the team? If you want to get in, just like in Drip, you'll need to add a buddy address, right? You can add mine, that'll be down below. You can add anyone else's. I know a lot of you guys, like I said, are already in the protocol, so you've already gone through this process of adding your buddy. But if you're not, you pick the buddy you want to work with and you input that here. The nice thing is, if you ever want to change, you join a team leader that turns out not to be great and you want to jump over to someone else, you can actually change your buddy. It just charges you some of these tokens. That way there's a benefit to the system in you actually changing. And it decentivizes you from just jumping from team to team to team to try to collect rewards, or anytime someone's doing a contest, you jump over to their team or whatever. So you'll add the buddy address. You will need to have some pulse in order to complete the transaction, because obviously those transactions are going to happen on the Pulse chain. So you need gas fees to be able to cover that. You can get it in a bunch of different ways. I personally just had I had a couple extra BNB in one of my wallets. So I just wanted to transfer a little bit over. All I really do is go here to changenow.io, and then I just put what I want in here. So I had BNB on BSC, and I came over here and I just needed some Pulse. So I just put in, quarter of a BNB or whatever I did and swapped it over to get Pulse. I'll continue to do that. There's plenty of other ways to buy it, but I've always liked changenow.io. Might not be the most inexpensive or cost-effective version, but it always works really well for me. And when I go to exchange, if it's going to charge me more than most other platforms would, it actually gives me a warning and said, this is actually going to cost you an above average amount to convert this. Are you sure you want to do it? So I like that. Most of the time, the fees are pretty reasonable. When I see that warning, I generally will go look into something else. But just keep that in mind. Some of you guys are already on Pulse Chain. You've already got plenty of Pulse in your wallet, but I didn't have much. I needed some more, so I just swapped it over. Once you've got that, of course, you can go ahead and change your buddy, and then you'll have this rewards wallet. So the rewards will come from your team. It's set up a little differently than Drip. It's a little bit more conservative. Really everything with this platform is a little more conservative than it is with Drip. So in the rewards wallet, if you want to join my team, instead of 10% like it was with the original Drip, 5% goes into the wallet, and then 2.5% on compounds. Now there is no round robin system, so you can't self-refer a bunch of different wallets and then just continue getting rewards like we saw eventually was a problem with Drip. So whoever you pick your buddy, or whoever you pick for your buddy, the rewards will go to them, and then if you want to switch your buddy, you can do that. Again, there's just a fee to do it. Now, if you've built a team and you're gaining rewards, you have a choice of what you want to do with those. You can take those rewards out and just take your Pulse and walk away, or sell your tokens. But if you do that, you're going to be charged a 30% tax. So if I had a bunch of rewards just sitting in here, I could either claim them and eat that 30% tax, or I could compound that, put it right back in the system and have a 0% tax. So either way, that benefits the system. You're either locking up your tokens, or 30% of that's going directly back into the system, which isn't bad. So me personally, I just just going to try to grow these wallets to max payout. I'm just having a little fun with them. I only put about 500 bucks in here so far. I may add some so I can compound a little bit more often and feel good about it, but so far things are looking pretty good. So for me, I really like the idea of just compounding those in and seeing where this goes. It's starting early enough that maybe the bull market or the bear market will start to turn around a little bit, and this will get some traction and it'll end up being a really big thing. But the whole system actually is more conservative, like I was saying. So whereas with the original drip, your max payout is 100,000 tokens, in this one the max payout is 36,500. The payout is still 365%, just like it was with drip. So what that would mean is that the max deposit or max wallet technically is 10,000 tokens. Of course, 10,000 times 3.65 would be 36,500. So if you're looking to make a massive deposit, 10,000 tokens is the most you could buy. You'd put that in and then you'd have a max wallet, and all you'd really be doing is claiming. Another difference that I sort of like, especially at these prices, is there's a 7-day cutoff period. So you can allow your rewards to accumulate for 7 days, but then you got to take an action. You either need to claim or you need to compound. That's nice because a lot of these big wallets will let it build up for really long periods of time, and then they'll claim a ton of tokens. It just takes a lot out of the system. So it's not a huge deal either way, but I think that's a nice feature overall. So you just got to make sure you're getting in at least once a week. If Friday's your day or whatever, where you're either going to compound or claim, you could do that. Just be aware that those rewards will cut off. Now, when you're on the faucets tab right here, this is where you actually would start up a faucet. Real quick before I do that, let's go over to the swap tab. So once you've got your Pulse tokens, you can come over here and you can buy your Pulse drip, and you just put however much. I don't have a ton in here, so the amount I would have would give me 2.5. You click exchange, you confirm the transaction, hopefully you guys have a ledger, and then you've actually got the tokens. Come back over here to the faucet and you can create a faucet. If you want to create a faucet, these obviously won't be here. I've got a larger one and a smaller one. I called them Biggie Smalls for no apparent reason. But to set up a faucet, you would come here. Let me make sure that you can actually see this. I'll scoot over a little bit. So you put the amount that you want. So if you've got 50 P drip or whatever, you can put that here. If you did take advantage of the pre-sale, you're gonna have X drip, so you'd want to click on this and you put however many you have there. I got 30 total tokens. There's that 10% fee on the way in. So what I did is I set up my first one as 20 tokens, of course 10%. It took 2, I have 18 left. And then the other one I just put in my remaining 10, so I've got 9 left. So I have 2 of these. Now, when I set these up, just so you guys know, I set it up, I put my amount in, I approved it, and then I came back to confirm the transaction, and then it really sat for like a couple minutes, and I didn't know if it was working or what. I refreshed, nothing really happened, and then a few minutes later, boom, boom, both of these popped up, and they were there, and then I just went in and paid a couple cents to rename them. So just be aware of that. It may take a second because mine did. So the nice thing is here they built in some features that we always wanted on the other stuff, claim all and compound all. So if you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 faucets, you can come in here and compound all and it will do it for you, or you can claim all if you want to claim all your rewards at one time. So that makes it super convenient. I've just got the 2 faucets right now. I may add one more, just depends on where this thing goes, but I'm going to try to build one up to where it's big and then one to where it's in that medium range. And if I add another one smaller, that way they're coming behind each other, kind of like I did with the drip wallets, which would have been a great strategy had I started 4, 5, 6 months earlier, and that way the price would have been at a reasonable level. But I digress. We all learn those lessons as we go. So if you want to add to these faucets, you can come here, add a little extra to the amount. And of course you have the ability to compound or claim individually if you don't want to mess with one, or it hasn't built up enough rewards or whatever it is. But again, every 7 days you need to be doing something in here. So what I'm going to do is I've built up available drip rewards, $2.56. It's not that much. I'm just going to keep letting that build for 3, 4, 5 days to where I feel like it's a good amount, and then I'm going to compound. And the nice thing is, if you guys haven't noticed, is when you're dealing on Pulse Chain, is the gas fees are tiny. I mean, sometimes it's less than a cent. So because the gas fees are so cheap, it makes sense to compound at a more frequent level where you're not having to build up where the compound's going to be 70 cents, but you've only accumulated, you know, $1, and so you're going to eat a good portion of that. So nice thing is fees are super cheap. So honestly, that's about it. I haven't dug into the garden yet, but it works kind of similar. So I may put some in here and just kind of play with the garden. The garden's more of a minor. I just haven't done that yet. I just haven't had time to really dig in and make sure that I understand the mechanics so I can explain them to you. But this is what I've got started with so far. I should have gone in earlier. Like I said, I was out of town, and sometimes when I'm juggling stuff, when I'm traveling, I don't feel like I can really do enough research to understand what I'm talking about. You know, obviously this is a pretty simple protocol, and I trust Matt and those guys, so I don't have any worries about this being SAFU. They've done multiple projects, all of them have been safe. So I think we're in a position here that's low risk, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun with it. Like I said, I didn't put a crazy amount in. I've got, you know, 20 that I put in over here and 30 tokens that I put, or 10 extra tokens that I put in over here for a total of 30. I'll probably add a little bit more to it as I go, as I just feel more comfortable with it. But right now I'm just setting this up to have a little bit of fun. And on the off chance, I mean, I've been in so many dang protocols, and some of them have done well and some of them have crashed and burned. On the off chance that this is the one that ends up just freaking taking off, and you know, a lot of people make crazy money in it, of course I should get into it, especially since I know the people who created the project. So that's it for now. Keep in mind later, I think it's a later thing, I think I forgot to mention, these are set up in the form of NFTs. So you're basically kind of like minting an NFT, and that's faucet ownership in that case would be transferable. So if they set up an NFT trading platform, eventually I could sell my faucet for what it's worth or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I know a couple other platforms tried that, and I think that model could be really successful, because down the road, if you've started a bunch of wallets and you're in need of the cash and you want to trade it off to somebody and they're willing to buy it, you know, maybe you could make a profit and they could also make a profit. So it should be a little bit interesting. But that's Pull Strip. I'll continue to cover it on my weekly videos and my weekly updates. I'm not concerned about the contracts on this one or rug pull or anything like that. It's just going to be a fun project to be involved in. So I know 50 of you guys reached out and said, hey, are you getting into this? And I was kind of slow playing it. Anyway, now I'm in. I'll make some content on it. If you guys have questions, you're welcome to ask me. Hopefully we get another winner here, because we've got a few winners right now, but we've definitely taken some L's as of late. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for joining. Happy investing.